If I had to rank these rosters, I would definitely put FaZe number 1 still. Ultra, you know what, I'm going to keep Ultra number 2. I'm going to go with Optic Dallas at 3. Yo, what's up YouTube? Today we're going to be going over Roster Mania and a lot of the leaked rosters. Before we get into that, make sure to follow me on Twitter. It's right here. It's going to be linked in the description too, and let's get into it. So we're going to start off with this Dallas-Chicago merger. Basically, Chicago seems to be merging with Dallas to create this super team of Scump, Dashy, Shotzzy, and Illy. I mean, this team is just nasty, and we'll talk about that Chicago spot later. So coming over here, we're going to go to this tier list here and show a little visual of what the rosters are going to be. So obviously the Optic Dallas roster here is going to be Scump, and I'm looking for Dashy. There we go. Dashy. Where's Shotzzy at? There we go. Shotzzy. There we go. And Illy. So that's the Optic Dallas roster right there. They're going to merge and combine their two rosters. They both drop 2 players. So Empire dropping Vivid and Crim, and Optic dropping FormaL, who retired, and Envoy. Let's move on to the LA Thieves. Now Octane has been linked to the Thieves for a while now. Basically the last 2 years everyone's like, it's been like a really bad kept secret in the league that he's going to return to the Thieves. Everyone knew it was going to happen, and the most interesting part about this roster is Envoy is going to be joining them on the Thieves, which is going to complete their team of 4 of Octane, Kenny, Draza, and Envoy. This team I feel like is going to be a nasty team. I don't know how Envoy is going to work with them, but we'll see. So let's put together this LA Thieves roster, starting with Octane on the Thieves. Then we have Envoy. Here we go, Envoy. Kenny and Draza as well. There's Kenny. And Draza should be up here somewhere. There we go. So there's that 4. I mean, so far, I don't know. I feel like this team could be like a top 5 team for sure for next year. Then we got news about Crimsix going to New York to team with Clayster and Hydra, and apparently they're going to buy out Neptune's contract from the Mutineers. Again, another nasty super team. Looks like a lot of teams are forming super teams to take down FaZe. The subliners, which is going to be Crim, should be up here somewhere. It's going to be Clayster. Where's the subliners? Crimsix, Hydra, and they're going to buy out Neptune's contract from the Mutineers. I mean, 2 cracked subs, 2 veterans. This is going to be a nasty team for sure. I feel like they'll be better than the Thieves. Probably like a top 4, maybe top 3 team from what it's looking like. But then you might be wondering what's going to happen to the Mutineers, right? Now, the Mutineers, it looks like they're going to be retaining Skies, Awakening, Havoc, and Yeez, which could be their starting 4. But they also want to pick up an AM player and Dave Patty, who's the main AR. I don't know how that's going to work. It seems kind of confusing. I don't know what Mutineers are going to do, but I feel like their roster is just going to be set on these 4 right here for sure. And the Mutineers, I don't know what they're doing with their roster. They seem kind of confused. I thought they'd go for Hook or Envoy or someone like that. Maybe a better AR, who knows. But right now it looks like they're sticking with their guys of Havoc. Where is, there we go. Of Havoc, Awakening, and Skies. There's Awakening. There's Skies. And then Yeez as a 4th. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what Yeez looks like. Okay, so I did have to Google him, but it looks like this is who he is. But yeah, that's gonna be the Florida roster. I don't know, man. I feel like this isn't gonna be that great of a team. They thought about splitting up Skies and Awakening. They're a pretty good AR duo, probably one of the best AR duos in the league. But again, I don't see this being like a top team. Who knows, maybe they'll surprise us. Another interesting roster is the Gorillas, who are going to be targeting Hook, Gunless, ASIM, and Slasher. I mean, this team sounds like it's going to be pretty good. We'll see how it pans out. I feel like we'd have to watch it to make any assumptions for sure. But I mean, it sounds like a pretty nasty team. It looks like Slasher is going to be leaving the Thieves to go to the Gorillas. Alright, yeah, so it looks like this Gorillas roster is going to be Slasher, Hook, where's ASIM at? ASIM and Gunless. Now this roster seems interesting. I feel like it's going to be a really good team. I'd say this is like a top 6 team for sure in the league. I feel like this sub duo is going to be really interesting to see, and Slasher and Gunless teaming up is going to be a pretty good team. I think they've won in the past, and I feel like as teammates, they can do it again for sure. Alright, so the next roster that leaked was this interesting Seattle Surge roster. It looks like they're going to be clearing the books completely and trying to save some money by picking up a lot of AM players and a lot of regressed players in the league, but it still seems like an interesting team. You got Accuracy as a veteran, Sib, who's a cracked do-it-all player, can do the AR, can run the sub as well. Mac, who's been pretty good on New York the past couple of years, and Pred, who's had great things said about him from Australia. So it looks like this team could be really good. It just depends on, I think the coaching is going to be a big fact, and they picked up like some AM coach or something like that, and we got to see if Accuracy can lead this team to become something great, but they're very interesting for sure. So let's go ahead and put this roster together. Let me pick up Sib here for Seattle, and where is Accuracy? He should be one of the first ones here, right? There we go. Accuracy. Mac should be on here as well. Let me throw Pred in there. And Mac as well. Where's Mac at? There's Mac. Yeah, so this roster is interesting. I feel like, I don't know, I'm not going to count out Sib and Mac. Like, they're pretty good players, and hopefully Pred is, you know, as advertised. So they could be disgusting, but looking at them compared to these other teams, I think they're the worst one we've listed by far so far. And then going over to London, looks like they're going to drop everyone except for Afro, and they're looking to pick up Zero, Nasty, and Gizmo. So, I mean, Afro was pretty good so far this year. I mean, he's been cracked. Going to throw Afro there on London, along with Zero. There's Zero. So yeah, and then their third is Nasty is who they're looking to target, and the last one they're looking to target is Gizmo. Alright, so I can't find Gizmo's photo on here, but you get the point. Let's move on to the next roster. So obviously it looks like Rocker are going to stick together along with Toronto and FaZe. I mean, pretty common idea throughout the offseason. We need those three teams. We're definitely going to stick together, but on this tier list, I don't have FaZe or the Ultra, so we're going to do the Rocker, and obviously we're just going to assume that FaZe and Toronto are definitely going to stick together. So Rocker, of course, Standy, Attach, Priesta, and Major Maniac. And yeah, that Rocker team is just going to stick it together. Let's see what they can do. I mean, they won a championship this year, so stage 5 they went off. So I mean, who knows, they could do it again. I do have some question marks about this team, but hopefully they can just continue that winning streak, you know. And then it gets a little interesting with these last two, or not really interesting at all actually. We don't know what Chicago's going to do with their last spot, that NRG roster spot. There's been rumors Cloud9 is going to buy in and relocate to Las Vegas, but it's going to be maybe a couple months before we see that, and they're probably going to have to be fighting for some, you know, bottom of the barrel players. Not great unless they pull some strings, you know, through challengers and find some studs. If they do their scouting, they could find something good maybe. And there's also some pros that didn't have great seasons last year that they could pick up. So maybe some returning faces to the league, but who knows. And Paris, as always, who knows what they're doing. I mean, like the CDL memes is saying, they're gonna suck either way. So who cares who they pick up, right? So as a recap, going over the rosters here, we got the Optic Dallas roster with Scump, Dashy, Shotzzy, Illy. Rocker sticking together with Standy, Attach, Priesta, and Major Maniac. NRG, we don't know. Looks like someone might buy that spot. Maybe NRG will keep it if nobody's going to buy it, and who knows who they're going to pick up. Looks like a reunion in New York with Clayster and Crimsix, along with two crack subs in Neptune and Hydra. Florida, who knows what they're doing. They're going to retain all 4 of their players and probably start Yeez instead of Neptune, who is apparently getting bought out by New York. And looks like Thieves is going to be really interesting with Octane, Envoy, and Kenny Andraza. Seattle Surge with like 3 like cracked out young players and Accuracy. London with Gizmo. I forgot this kid's name already, I'm going to be honest. Yeez? No, I think Yeez was this kid, but I don't know who this kid is. Anyways, Zero and Afro. And Gorillas with a pretty competitive roster of Hook, Asim, Gunless, and Slasher. And of course, Paris, we're just going to rename this to L, because that's what they're going to take next next season. They're going to take a lot of those. So yeah, if I had to rank these rosters, I would definitely put FaZe number 1 still. Ultra, you know what, I'm going to keep Ultra number 2. I'm going to go with Optic Dallas at 3. Let's go NY Subliners at 4. I say LA Thieves is probably 5th. 6th I'd probably give to this Gorillas team. 7th, oh man, this might be a bad take, but I feel like this Minnesota team will be 7th. I don't see them. I feel like this roster isn't better than any of the ones that I listed so far. 8th, I like the Seattle Surge team more than I like that Florida team. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna put them 8th. 9th is this. I feel like a lot of people are gonna sleep on this Surge team. I feel like they're gonna be really good. 9th, I'd say this Seattle team is better than. Oh, I don't know. It's close between this Seattle team and this Ravens team, but I'm gonna go with Seattle 9th. 10th for this Ravens team. And dude, I don't want to disrespect Paris, but whatever roster they put together, even if NRG is like, or whatever team buys in is like 2 months late, I feel like they will be a better team than Paris. So yeah, that's my rankings right there for sure. I could see Ultra falling next year, but I'm gonna keep them 2nd. I'm gonna give them their respect. They're a pretty good teamwork team, and I mean, they were consistent all throughout this year. So, you know, those were the leaked rosters for Roster Mania 2021. A lot of really good teams. Looks like a lot of super teams forming, and let's see which ones disappoint and which ones prove us wrong. So I'll catch you in the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and comment down below what you thought of Roster Mania, or maybe some potential rosters you thought were going to form, or, you know, maybe your rankings of these rosters if you disagree with me. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.